So, Rob, I've been playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla lately.
That's Vikings, right?
Yeah, you're a Viking, and you're smashing up towns and abbeys. Man, you hate abbeys in
They
this game.
can't stand them.
They really want you to loot. They want you to grab these, boxes full of gold all over the place.
Okay.
But they have this button that, shows you, where they all are, like kind of detective mode, and then you see this gold ring that shows you generally sort of where it is in the map. But they don't want it to be that easy, right? Because otherwise you would just beeline right for the gold.
Yeah.
So they kind of hide it. It's not really a puzzle. It's really more like kind of half-assed, like a subway that has way too many exits and entrances.
Mm.
And you're not sure exactly which one to go out to start looting and pillaging the Wells Fargo ATM. So you're shit, what is this? This is a Little Caesars? Oh, no, I don't. Well, I guess I could plunder a Little Caesars, but it really feels beneath me. Maybe it's right around here. It's right next to the Safe Flight Repair. Could I get some gold out of a Safe Flight Repair? I don't even know whose head I'd chop off in a Safe Flight Repair.
Can't you just threaten somebody to show you where the gold is?
No, you can't threaten anybody, but you can insult them in rhyming couplets.
Oh.
It's time. Time for a thrilling story of romance, adventure, mystery, anything with an expired copyright. It's time for another Interrupted Tale.
Hello, and welcome back to the show that usually ends. It's another episode of Interrupted Tales, the show where my friend and I take turns reading stories to you, the listener, while the other person constantly interrupts. As always, as is with me, as I always say, Rob. That's what I say.
You always just say Rob.
Say it loud, say it proud.
Yeah. Hi, Alan. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, Rob. That's a holiday that is now morally wrong to celebrate. I mean, it was iffy before, but definitely you're in the wrong celebrating it this year.
Yeah, not trending in the right direction.
Nope. And yet, we have a story of Thanksgiving something. I don't...
Thanksgiving crime?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
It takes the form of a bedtime story for grown-ups
Yes.
from the People's Story magazine, 1922, November 25th edition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The Thanksgiving edition.
Well, did you look up which Thursday it is in 1922, Rob?
They moved it, right? It was what, the third, or then the fourth, or the other way around?
Oh, did they?
They did at some point.
Oh my, the Butterball people.
They wanted more time to make them fatter and greasier.
That's what they breed them for.
That's what they breed them for, grease.
We have a story called A Price on His Head by Russell M. Krauss.
I got some tidbits about Russell M. Krauss.
Do you really?
Yeah, turns out Russell Krauss became a playwright and is most famous for co-writing the books for the musicals Anything Goes and The Sound of Music. And he also won the Pulitzer Prize for Drama for the 1946 play State of the Union, which I've heard of. So
What a recommendation.
I mean, that's pretty top notch right there.
Well, let's enjoy a tale of Thanksgiving right before you go to bed as a grown-up. So snuggle under those covers, grab a warm milk with an unacceptably high ratio of bourbon in it while we read you this week's tale. You can just see the milk like retract when you do that. Just like kind of pull back from the evil, like the Star Trek Next Generation episode with the garbage bag monster and the
Skin of
oil tar.
evil?
Yeah, the skin of evil. I knew what it was called, Rob. Okay? I'm trying to lower the bar.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Doing a great job so far.
Thank you. Night. Big black blanket that it is had fallen upon the big woods and tucked its furry, finny, feathery populace to sleep.
Meanwhile, day, that bright idiot spotlight that it is, bludgeons us awake each morning with a blinding reminder that it is indeed still 2020. Yeah. That bastard.
It's a long winter.
Swinner?
Oh, lousy swinter weather. Lousy swinter sweaters, too. That whole sugly sweaters thing is just so played out.
It is so played out. Now they're
Played
making
out
sugly underwear.
They really should not be marketing sugly underwear.
Correct.
It was so dark that a barrel of pitch would have loomed up like a bonfire.
Okay. Metaphors are a privilege story, so let's tread carefully, counselor.
Sir, I submit that like a garbage bag monster in a pool of sticky oil, this story is going to kill off a beloved character.
Listen, they showed up on his planet unannounced.
No kidding.
And just totally were like, hey, we're here, and what are you doing? And he's like, this is my planet. And
Native life form. Uh-huh.
Yeah, and he just went after the first person who shot at him.
Now, didn't they leave him there because he was evil?
I think they left his skin.
Oh, no, but when they went to the planet where there was the liver of evil, that was not a good one.
I was going to make a Tuvix reference next, so go down that hole.
Was it not
So
the
remember, there was
Vulcan?
Tuvok in Voyager, right? And there was Neelix in Voyager.
Yeah, Neelix.
In an episode, they are merged together, Tuvok and Neelix, into one new being. And they're like, okay, well, this is who you are now. We can't figure out how to slice you apart. Like 3 weeks later, they figure out how to slice them apart. And they're like, okay, it's time to slice you apart so we can have our old buddies back. And he's like, no, I'm a new person. This is who I am.
Uh-huh.
And he never changes his mind. And Janeway forces them to split apart back into Tuvok and Neelix.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me just type the question. Who stole Neelix's lungs?
I'll tell you, it was the Gem Hadar. No, wait.
I'm going to see how far the internet has advanced.
All right,
Since
internet.
its baby days when I had to download ASCII GIF porn.
Those nines really make it look like a lady.
Well, the nines are the best part. You can fill the whole thing with nines as far as I'm concerned. And sixes.
Nice.
And lowercase d's and uppercase p's. Oh, nice. I'm going to do that one more time. Lowercase d, uppercase p. Oh, nice. I'm trying to make it a thing, Rob.
Okay.
You know what? Lowercase d and uppercase p's don't come up as often as the number 69, apparently.
It's why it's not a thing. And also, nobody wants to think of their D as lowercase.
You're right. That's a terrible thing to have an ex-girlfriend write in an email. Only the sentinel of the law, Pat the police dog, remained awake, and his eyelids were drooping like the grand finale rose of summer.
All right. Well, getting back to my point previous to all this.
Okay, yep.
We are not kidding around about this story. Don't you think a simile gets you around this, all right? Not gonna happen.
My. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Just a quick editing note. Here's where I cut my pretty bad droopy dog interpretation. If only something would happen, he mused, as he ambled aimlessly over the same old monotonous beat.
Ah, he's listening to Diplo.
Oh, now that's not fair, Rob, because I have specifically never listened to Diplo. Even though, God, I feel like it's true.
It's pretty true.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Then suddenly, and unmistakably there came a sound.
See, now would be the time for a metaphor or simile story. What was the sound like? Was it a shoe on pavement? Was it the elusive sound of a rich person's earnest apology? What was it like?
It's unmistakable, Rob. If you heard it, you'd know it. It's a sound. Pat's ears flapped back against his head with a bump that jarred him into full wakefulness. It was a voice.
Oh, God. That's not Diplo. It's Kesha. Run!
Oh, come on now.
Run!
She's had a hard road.
The hard road.
Definitely put up wet. He listened intently. Not talking WAP there, Rob.
Okay, all right. Just checking.
Okay. He listened intently. Once before, he'd thought he'd heard a shh, only to discover his official embarrassment that it was just a couple of trees whispering.
Psst, psst. Gary, what did you say? Couldn't hear you with the wind rustling through me.
Trevor, I said, that dog's an idiot. And where'd all our fucking wives go? Don't tell me it's a Don't tell me you don't know, JR. Don't tell me that. That's bullshit. You know.
Man, I don't
Where
know
are our
if
fucking wives? Wrote 3,000 pages of this bullshit. I haven't had my acorn. Never mind. But this time it was the real thing. He ducked behind an ash can and listened.
Hey, it's the ash can here, Mr. Dog. I know you want to lean on me back there, but I kind of have an official ash, gas, or grass policy, so,
Okay, let me see. Ash?
Okay. That's what I like to be filled
So
with.
just like kind of burned leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gas?
Yep, you notice I did not continue the rhyming with ash for gas. Because even though it would be, ass to ash would be gas to something else, I decided to class it up a little.
Sorry, it's Mr. Dog over here. Thank you, Mr. Ashcan. Some people think you're a bit of an ash hole, but I think you're an ash place to put garbage.
That's right. I'm an ash handler. I come from a long line of ash handlers.
There's a big price on your head, I tell you, he heard in a muffled tone. Tonight's your last chance to escape.
Meet me at O'Malley's tomorrow at noon to plan it. Let's cut through all this red tape.
Well, I'm a fan of making love at midnight in the dunes, but I gotta tell you, I'm allergic to coconut milk. Is that gonna be a problem?
Yeah, deal's off. I mean, well, wait. Are you into yoga?
Get out of here. Go to the hills, anywhere, and wait till this thing blows over. They'll get you sure tomorrow. Go. Pat recognized the voice as that of Gay Dog, well-known canine about town.
Good Lord. A dog wears one cravat to doggy daycare, and all of a sudden he's Paul Lynde for the rest of his life.
I think it's more whether the dog really pulled it off.
Circle gets the bone.
Oh, nice. All right, that's great. Listen, hey, that might make it in, unlike my droopy dog impression.
Can you do any other Hanna-Barbera characters?
Of course I can. Exit stage ready, then.
That's an okay Fred Flintstone, but can you do anybody else?
Fuck off. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I like him both ne'er do well, Gay Dog. But none too careful about his companions, even.
You gonna do the same?
Yes, we're there now, Rob.
Hey, he's not too careful about his companions. Just ask his buddies, Phil Spector and Robert Blake.
Oh, boy. Not the best buddies to have.
No. But stories, though, are interesting.
Pat had long suspected that someday evil associates would be his undoing. But there was no time to think of Gay Dog.
Nope. Save those thoughts for later. Around midnight, when you're in bed. Your bed by yourself, of course. The twin bed on the other side away from your wife. And you can think about Gay Dog then, Mike Pence.
Here was a fugitive from justice, a criminal with a price on his head. Pat was still thinking about that rhinestone collar he'd buy with the reward when he heard the crackling of bushes and turned to see two forms.
Uh-oh. It's Rhinestone Rex and the Sparkly Mutt. They stole Pat's fashion sense and the contents of a piercing pagoda.
Oh, but Claire's really has better phone cases. I think we can all agree.
Yeah, but have you ever tried to rob a Claire's?
Oh, the security is 13 and not well organized. Gun in claw, he dived into the underbrush on the trail of the desperado.
He has a gun?
Maybe you haven't seen Paw Patrol, Rob, but Chase has mauled 6 to 7 men, got a grappling hook that's strangled several fugitives.
Oof.
It's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
Not good times in Paw City.
Adventure Bay.
Venture Bay.
You're asking to get shot if you go to a town called
Venture Bay.
where the feral canines know no law but that which they can mete out themselves. It was dark, but soon he had his quarry, a strange rough-necked red-headed fellow.
Ah, Ron Weasley's doing keto now.
You say keto? I say keto.
Oh, fuck, it probably is keto.
Let me see how Horse eBooks pronounces keto.
Ooh,
here.
yes.
They don't exist anymore, so Emma's gonna say it.
Like?
Keto.
Keto. All right, keto. Now I know.
Keto.
Keto. All I know is I don't want to eat cereal made out of chicken skin.
That's the real KFC famous bowl. It was just a bunch of chicken skin with milk on top.
I like to put blueberries in mine.
By the time the Common Fleas Court had convened the next morning,
Common Fleas Court, Alan. With this kind of political satire, the Capitol steps better watch their back. Someone tell Mark Russell there's a new sheriff in town.
I think you mean capital critters, right?
You know the Land of Confusion video with Genesis?
I sure do.
Yeah, all of those are from a British company that had a political TV show in the 80s called Spitting Image.
Oh, okay.
They would make these grotesque puppets of politicians and pop culture stars.
So it's like Labyrinth, but
Way fewer sexual discoveries.
yes. Hey, it's
Awakenings.
I think Margaret Thatcher's England was a perfect allegory for the loss of innocence of a naive young girl putting aside childish things. Like, jobs for people.
Yeah, mining jobs. Sure.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
It's all an allegory.
Put those away. That's for kids.
Yeah.
We could class up this podcast with an Iron Lady joke, I guess.
Yeah. Sure. She's on The Crown now. Everyone's into it. Gillian Anderson's playing her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's confusing. That's what that is.
Oh, is it?
For me, it is.
And Asa Butterfield. It's also confusing for him.
I got that reference.
The officer had rounded up his material witness as well.
He'd also eaten out of the garbage and barked while standing in the middle of the yard for several hours, but I don't see you writing about that, lamestream media.
Bad Pat, the police thought.
Defund canines, all right?
You don't understand what defund canines mean, Rob.
I'm not saying
No,
we're going to get rid of all the canines.
It's just too nuanced to stand to put like that.
Yes.
Judge Sober Owl, listen.
Who? Who?
All right, hold it. Judge Sober Owl listened to Pat's story, then called Gay Dog to the stand. Now, let me tell you, if you're going to have to pick an owl,
Yeah.
do you want Sober Owl on the main trial or an appellate court? Because if Wild Night Drunk Ass Tequila Owl rules against you, don't you think it stands better for you to take it to Sober Owl on appeal?
See, no, I'm going to argue the opposite because Sober Owl, he's going to go by the letter of the law. All right? You go to Drunk Owl, you got a chance that he's going to be like, sounds like childish hijinks to me.
What if we had some other owls?
Well, there's Wise Owl.
No, he's got to be on a bag of potato chips that you haven't seen since 1986.
All right.
They didn't really win too well in the snack wars, did they?
How about Snowy Owl?
Well, now we're back to Labyrinth, and if he's going to turn into David Bowie with a codpiece,
Not against it.
Well, I'm not against it. I'm not sure that I want to argue in front of him. You know what I'm saying?
Fair point. Fair point.
This is a terrible outrage, barked the material witness with a snort. Barked Chrissy from Three's Company, laughing.
Has no one become popular for their snort since
It's
their
not
snorty laugh since then?
It's not really that defining characteristic in modern acting.
Yeah, I would have thought, you know, like you've always got a guy who stammers a lot, like Hugh Grant. But yeah, who's today's hot, young, upcoming, snorty actress?
Well, I don't know her name, Rob, but I'm pretty sure she was at that Bryce Hall TikTok party house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, pretty sure.
It's kind of snorty young.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. All right. This is a terrible outrage, barked the material witness with a snort. Terry Turkey is a bird of high ideals.
Your Honor, what we have here is not a criminal. He's a gobbler with gumption from a good family. These are just boyish pranks. He can't be bad. His dad owns the Mazda dealership.
It's the Turkey clan. They come from Waddles.
What does that even mean?
Hey, you'll find out when you go up against them and the mayor is getting the chief of police to knock on your door at 3 a.m. and the high-priced lawyers are taking you down to court, man. Then you'll find out where all the Waddles rest in this town.
That's a bunch of jive, Alan.
You think so?
Yeah, jive turkeys.
Yeah, mm-hmm. But, broke in Pat petulantly, I heard this witness himself say the prisoner had a price on his head. He must be some dangerous.
I mean, I lost the body cam footage, but but the
come
bruises
on,
were already
Pat.
there.
No, Pat,
Rough.
no.
I wasn't too rough.
No. Dangerous nothing, came back Gay Dog. Of course he's got a price on his head. 72 cents a pound.
Ah.
Oh, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Hagar the Horrible is just going to rip that off this Sunday.
This is Garfield with Garfield.
Some... Huh. 72 cents a pound. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. That's more than you'd bring on 4th of July with a hot dog famine at Coney Island.
So wait a minute. Is he
Okay, all right.
telling us that that he thinks hot dogs are made of real dogs? Because he's saying that's more than you'd bring, Pat the dog. On
That's
the 4th
more
of
than
July.
you'd bring.
Yeah. So, number one, it's a faulty premise. And number two, if it's true, someone should really tell Badlands Booker.
You don't know what Nathan's does behind closed doors, Rob. Don't pretend you do. No one does. The end. Can you think back to 15 years ago, Rob?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the time of the story, but it was the time when you knew the name of some Japanese guy that ate a lot of hot dogs.
Yeah.
And you knew a whole bunch of names of party girls who'd definitely be snorting coke on the celeb sites.
Have we changed so much as a culture? Halcyon days.
Well, that was a Thanksgiving story.
Yeah. A price on his head. A title that screams Thanksgiving.
Oh, you're going back to the title. That sure does relate to the last couple sentences of the story. took a bit, but I guess you could say that was related.
It does beat sitting through 3 hours with commercials of The Sound of Music, though.
Sure, yeah.
Those commercials. Oof.
Yeah, the commercials are the worst part I mean, the Nazis were probably the worst part, but the commercials are very bad.
Rolf, man. Jesus.
Do you think there's a moral we could derive from this tale of anthropomorphic dogs?
Anamorphic dogs?
Oh, no, not Animorphs. God, no. Oh, this human teen has turned into Pat the police dog. Now he's got a gun. What's he
It all
gonna
comes
do?
together now.
How's he gonna go to school like that?
I'll tell you what, though. It's always going to be the Latino kid that turns into the worst animal.
Do you have a moral for this story, Rob?
I do,
Happy
Alan.
Thanksgiving, by the way.
I do. I have a brief moral for the story.
Uh-huh.
I think the moral of the story is that a good deed is always rewarded. Gay dog helped out Terry Turkey and exposed a cop trying to railroad him. I think this is a feel-good story for this year.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that I got absolutely nothing but joy and love during this Thanksgiving season.
That's right. Well, why don't you take us out then, Alan?
Well, that about wraps it up for this week. We hope you enjoyed this story, and we do hope you will join us next week. Or, you guys know, right?
Approximately.
Come on now. Approximately a week until our next episode, where we will bring you another interrupted.
Hey, folks. This is your old pal Thanksgiving dinner here for a special public service announcement with my best friend Alan from the Annotated Stories podcast thing. So,
Yep.
Alan, do you like Thanksgiving dinner?
Sure, I love it.
Yeah, what's
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah. What's your favorite part of me?
Well, I guess I like your stuffing balls.
Whoa, that gets a little personal, but I'm here to talk a little bit about cranberry sauce.
Okay.
All right, do you like cranberry sauce, Alan?
I'm sorry. It's, yeah, I think it's okay. Is your friend Ashcan coming over, or is it just going to be you?
No. This is me. That Ashcan, he still owes me money, so I haven't seen his
all right.
face in months.
Okay, well, I've got family coming over, and, it's just, I got to get started.
This is perfect then. So I just want to make a public service announcement that I hope you all have a good Thanksgiving, whether you celebrate it or not. I hope you're all safe. And if you are getting together with people, and if you happen to be lucky enough that you can, when you're having dinner and your mom or dad or grandma or whoever you love and spending time with brings out the cranberry sauce that's out of the can with the rings, don't make fun of it. Somebody wants it. Maybe it's you. And while they'll all joke about it and be like, oh, yeah, that's the homemade cranberry sauce, and it's delicious, and it's much better than everything else, you know what? Be better than that. Because that's going to hurt that person just a teensy bit. So that's a little bit from your old pal Thanksgiving dinner. I just want to tell you, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Finish your damn vegetables. And now, have a good, happy Thanksgiving. Bye.
Normally I'd cut you off, but it's Thanksgiving. Tail.